more, and then he's not there to. If he was there, that would have been a lot different. Now he even has a basher, so TPing out, not that easy of an option for Execration any longer. He will have an Abyssal as well.
The range basher. The range basher for the Weaver. Yep, they needed something against those BKBs, and that's definitely going to be the tool. He's got a lot of attack speed, so that might work for them. Vitaly already uses the Vessel. Bob attacking from the side, and Lumiere's going to be there. He's got the first hit bash as well, but there's still the blink because the refraction is there. Palos, he's being pummeled by Lumiere. He's going to get stunned again. Another basher does come through from Lumiere. He's going to get the cheese heal, but he's down to 2k HP. And Hikori, momentary resets, still keeping the racks up, but the tier 4 just took another 400 damage while that was happening, and it's just not going to hold for a lot longer. The Ancient's going to be open wide.
It's not looking good for Hikori in terms of map control. They're constantly losing it, even though killing the TA, the gold lead continues to increase just because they're not getting any farm. And Execration now they're hunting. This is something that Hikori.
Oh, they've got Lumiere. They've got the catch. Guarding is running after him and trying to get the save, but they're pulling him even further away. The Oliker, is he gonna be able to save this Weaver? No. He's going to have to buy back for this one too, but they're already dying on the side of Hikori. There's the Poison Nova. Analog in between. He's not buying back. They gave up. Now he's... No, okay, he's not giving up. He's coming in now. They waited for the punch to commit a bit deeper into the base for Palos to die. Maybe now they can get more, but it really needs to pay off because that took a long time for the buyback to kick in. And this Ancient is wide open. Wards are pummeling it. Creeps are hitting it. Creeps are still hitting it. Nobody getting the aggro off of them at this current time. And now Lumiere, he's about to drop as well. Does get the time lapse off, but Tino's going to be right there on top of him. And he's going to be burning. This Weaver is down. Dieback is a certainty. And that should be game. 4 versus 2, and Hikori kind of defenseless. Analog trying his best to buy some hope, but 2 minutes while your Ancient is still being hit. Vitaly's dropping low. Tino with his BKB burning up the Worm. And this Venomancer, he's about to drop, but he does have a Lotus Orb to dispel. The Vessel is there. They're actually going to kill Tino here. They're actually looking to kill him here, but it's going to be enough damage. Doesn't look like it will. Puck is down as well, and that is the end of game number 1.
Oh, what an ending, but them controlling the Weaver, that was the main thing. I kind of thought this might be a bad move for Execration, but with the refresher on the Batrider, just getting him so far away, even with the massive status resistance that he had, the Titan Sliver, the Senjin Yasha, it just was not enough to survive through all of that. When you see Execration, you think single target lockdown, and then status resistance has worked so well for him for this game, but just not enough. I have to say, Gardic, he went for the Lotus Orb in this game. I would have preferred the Blink. Imagine a Blink there. Imagine a Blink in this game being able to counter Tino. We saw a Blink yesterday on Anomaly Night, and it worked out so much better in terms of saving people. Gardic, he just thought he could stand his ground, but Execration, they found the loophole, went for the refresher, and they forced staff on Tino, getting the Weaver out, and then the lockdown is just going to be enough for him to die. So beautifully done by Execration there towards the end, but overall, a very nice game for both teams. So Corey, I have to praise them. Even though they were on the back foot, they did manage to understand how they need to play. Split push. Sometimes if you want a team fight, do it around the Veno. If your Puck or the Veno is dead, just bail on a team fight completely and play the game that way. That's why they lasted for 51 minutes, but in the end, Execration didn't make enough mistakes for them to come back.
Yeah, they held on to the end as long as they could, and that is a valiant defense from Hikori, but it wasn't enough for them to get themselves a comeback to mount. There was that one good fight that they got rolling at the very last minutes of the game, pushing into bottom, getting a good chain feed there out of Execration's heroes. That's how Hikori's lineup kind of works. They get one, followed into another, and get this chain of kills going in their way. But this lineup was not meant to last against TAs and Pudges jumping at the same time with full-on team lockdown control from Execration. So in this case, the laning stage rolling out into Bob's favor. The TA was the big powerhouse of this game. Palos maybe played a bit of a decoy turkey this game, but in the end, it works out. Victory is all that you need to get. But hey, this is the first game of the series, and now Execration one step closer to the grand final spot. Can they do it in game 2, or are we going to get a tie? We'll find out in a bit. And we're back, ladies and gents, and it's time to kick off the draft for game number 2 with Execration and Hikori in the lower brackets. And it is time to maybe shift things up a little bit because Hikori, they've got the most games played in this tournament so far out of any other team. And, you know, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not necessarily the best thing in terms of what is your shape, what is your fatigue. I don't think there's going to be any fatigue kicking in for either of these teams. They are full on prepared to take on this one. And Hikori, they got to start fighting back. They need to tie up the series to keep their chances alive of having South America still represent them in the grand finals. But Execration, one more win will do the trick. And if they get a powerful performance as they did in that last game, it did also come down to Hikori having to do very considered options with how do they itemize this game. You saw Lumiere going full on damage, which I fully approve. There's no option for him to actually build a Lincolns, otherwise the TA would just, just win. You can't win the fight overall if you don't have the damage for it. But they needed something like a Force Staff in the team. With that last fight where Lumiere died, Gardic was just running in panic, following the Weaver who was lassoed, trying to get there in time. If they had a gap closer to get there, to get his Heavenly Grace off, that could have helped him get the first lasso off, maybe even purge the whole situation. Didn't happen. One item too much needed from the 20 that they needed to build that game, so it was tough for Hikori. Maybe the approach is different this time.
We'll see if it is, but the approach is similar but different from Execration. They go for the Batrider. This time around, they pick up an Earth Spirit, a hero that we don't see too often. I think the region that during the DPC it was played mostly in was South America, with a couple of games in Southeast Asia. I know in Europe it was pretty much untouched, and I really love seeing this hero. It creates so much problems on the map for the opposing team, and you always want to have something happening. Also, it's pretty nice dealing with the Undying in lane, not fighting him directly, but just constantly running circles around him, kicking him back and stuff like that. So I'm loving this one, especially with the Batrider, because the Earth Spirit, he deals so much damage as a burst, and then it completely stops, at least until he gets his level 6, whereas the Batrider can finish people off. So either it being a mid lane bat or an off lane bat, it's still gonna be very easy for Execration between these two to get kills.
And the early game is also very nice. Like, you have this, you can even opt to go for a point in silence, for example, to get a follow-up with the Batrider with Geomagnetic Grip, which is just extending fights for a bit longer without the enemy able to retaliate. Like, I think that's what Execration are looking for, is, yet again, keep the initiative on their side, not let Hikori control the game too much. Like in game 1, they had full control over what they wanted to do. And if Hikori were to do any plays, they would be ready to respond at any given moment. So that really enabled their draft to its maximum potential. Though, no TA for this game, so we're going to be seeing something different come out for Execration. Most likely either Bob, considering the Batrider, again, just like in game 1, or does Tino feel like, I'm the better Batrider, let me have this one? Depends on the matchups. Yeah,
definitely does. Though this time around, it would be easier for the Batrider to lane in the offlane than it was in the previous game. In the previous game, you're up against the Weaver and up against the Omni Knight. So, it's both of those heroes counter you. It just so happens that at the perfect time, they got the first blood, and that created Tino's game. This time around against the Undying is not that big of an issue for you. As soon as you get level 3, this Undying is just dead, burned, gone. So I'm thinking that Execration have no trouble putting Tino on it. Again, no reason to kind of give Analog the favorable matchup in the mid lane.
Yep. At least in terms of what the cores are going to be banned, there's no Visage for Tino. There's no Morphling for Lumiere. They're taking away the heavy hitters, basically, that are going to be a hard time to deal with. Abeng will get to continue with his Shadow Shaman. Worked very nicely in this first game. And it does kind of strike to me that Abeng just might be... if Abeng as a stand-in is able to get Execration to the grand finals, that's going to put a lot of stocks under his name. So he's just enjoying his time playing Dota right now.
Yeah, for sure, and he is doing a really good job. Shadow Shaman, again, it's a direct answer to the puck. Probably they're going to be getting a a fat frontliner as a position 1 again. I wouldn't mind the Pudge one more time looking at Hokori's heroes currently. They should be afraid of the Pudge. So I think right now what they're discussing is what do we get so that the Pudge doesn't completely decimate us as in the previous game? Or can we pick the Pudge for ourselves and don't allow the enemies to get it?
Here comes the Medusa that we have seen only 1 or 2 times before from Hokori. Just want to quickly take a glimpse at the draft that they played with this Medusa prior to this game, as we've got a lot more hero picks coming in. It was played against Fnatic, and this draft was Tiny Enigma Undying Pango. So, very different type of draft than what they have in their hands right now. With the Pucks, the Abaddons, the Undyings. The Abaddon is nice to have against the Batrider. It's not the Omni Knight, but it does the similar type of job here. Plus, he's not a support who can just die right away because his ulti will help him keep himself alive a bit longer. And Purge of Silences from his teammates. So it is a handy hero to have. But is the PL going to be strong enough versus the Medusa? What do you think about this edition?
I think that Hokori got outdrafted, and the only way I see them winning is if they're winning from start to finish, right? So Undying, I'm guessing, is gonna be in the off lane, right? You need to do really well in that lane. You need to do really well in the Medusa Abaddon lane. If you do not, and the Medusa doesn't get to a point that you have a butterfly. It's usually Yasha, Scotty, butterfly against the PL. That's how you want to win. And you're able to just stand your ground and take down everything, you're going to be in so much trouble. So if Execration at any point start gaining some advantage and the Medusa cannot hit that timing, the PL will just crush everyone. These heroes don't deal with illusions. You're a counter to the Undying Tombstone. The Abaddon, you don't care about him. The Diffusal taking away the mana from every single one of these heroes is a problem. You have ways of dealing with the puck. It is just very tough for Hokori here. So I would like something to complement with the Undying that is gonna allow them to do well in the laning phase, or maybe if you want to put the Undying on 4. But I would really don't dislike the Abaddon and Undying, the support duo. It would be a disaster. So just get something that's gonna help you do well in the lane and hope that you're gonna be getting to that timing fast. Because if you don't, the game is just over.
5 seconds remain.
Execration didn't take a lot of time with their reserve time either. Like, they're just blitzing through this draft. Like, we know exactly what we want to ban against you. We've got our strat books open on what you've been playing previously, what has the best success, what are the most annoying counters through to our lineup. And Hokori, they're the guys with their backs against the wall. So this last pick also has to have significant importance, and as they're indicating on the side of Execration, it has to be somewhere between 3 and 4, because it does look like Puck is going mid. But is this Pango gonna be played as a support or an off lane? We see if they have any Pango games here. I only see Analog's Pango with 2 games, 2 wins. Outside of that, nobody else has played it. So would there be any chance to put the Puck somewhere else? I don't think they can.
I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind is a position 4 Puck. I would really dislike a position 3 Puck. So I'm not sure about this. The only thing I don't want to see from Hokori is the support duo of the Undying Abaddon. These heroes won't be doing anything in this game, especially against the PL, because against that hero you don't do nothing. Abaddon, he can be here and there, removing lasso silences and stuff, but Undying will just be food. So I don't know what Hokori are thinking with this, but I'm not a fan of their draft. I guess Pango does allow you to fight early on, and if the Medusa hits her timing, it's going to be really good to complement her. But the thing is, again, you start falling behind, you cannot get kills. Where's the damage? I don't see it. Pango, Puck, Undying, Abaddon. How do these heroes ever kill a hero? I think Execration just need to be patient in this game. Don't give away a lot of kills, and then once the time comes with your spirit, you're going to get a couple around the map, and it's just going to be impossible for Corey to play.
I think with this Pango pick, if this is the Oliker's hero pick that he wanted, I think Execration got under his skin, because, you know, when we saw that last game with Nyx Assassin, he didn't really get to play the game he wanted to, and he felt like he was being targeted all the time, hence why he went for the A on this, because like, maybe I get a chance to fight a bit longer with this. So I think Pango with his ulti, there's only the lasso, and also the lasso's not too great against the Rolling Thunder Pango anyway. This is probably a bit of a in the moment pick for them. So it does look like Theoliker will be playing the for the Pango, and Vitaly with the Undying, most likely, unless they're doing something very interesting here with the Pango going 3 and swapping the Undying to 5. That would mean 4 Abaddon, or 3 Abaddon even, for Vitaly. So let's see what they want to do here, because the last pick from Execration is going to be a very interesting last pick of the draft. It's a Primal Beast for Tino. And as we see it, Vitaly for the Pango in the offlane, and a 4 Undying for Theoliker. So they are swapping things around as they see this Primal Beast come out into the offlane.
Yeah, so they will send Bob to the mid lane. I have to say I expected Execration to maybe pick something like a Night Stalker or a Dragon Knight in the mid lane. Just make sure that the puck has a bad time. And with that, you just make Hikori's game impossible. I think now, with puck being against the bat, you actually have a chance of this puck getting strong and then going around the lanes, making sure that the Hikori are having a good time. But it is gonna be a 4 Undying and a 5 Abaddon, and I have to say I'm heavily favoring Execration in this one. The way I see Hikori winning, as I already mentioned, is if they do well from start to finish, but you start falling behind, you have no chance of getting kills, you have no chance of killing a single hero, and the mobility of Execration, I'd say they even have an advantage there. So it's not looking good for Hikori, if you ask me.
Definitely going to be a very difficult game for them to overcome, but they have to find success, and it has to start early on. This is where Execration's draft has also got its strengths into the laning stage, and the exit from the laning stage is where they have a lot of power to respond against Hikori. But Hikori needs to win the early game. I think that is the most important thing that they can do right now, is win the laning stage, get Medusa a decent start for the game to have some security for their 30-minute timing, plus 30-minute timing on this Medusa.
Yep.
If they don't get there, if Puck cannot carry the game under 20 minutes with this lineup, I don't think Hikori will stand a chance. But they've shown perseverance, they've shown integrity and grit, and those are the most important perks that you need in a tournament like this on its final day.
A very important thing about Execration is they have a billion X factors. You know, even if you would start losing, you have the lasso pullback, you have the Earth Spirit kickback. You know, now it has been changed, so a little bit easier to do. You have the Primal Beast just being mobile, getting into the backline, getting a hero kill. You have so many ways to play. You have pick-off potential with the Shadow Shaman as well. On the other side, Hikori, they don't have those X factors. They don't have that outplay potential other than Analog, and against the Earth Spirit, Shadow Shaman, it's just not easy to do so.
Well, I guess patience is a virtue here for Theoliker. He scouted out the ward. Yep. He stood under that tower for almost 50 seconds, and now when the ward gets placed down, they have information about this ops ward placed down. But also Execration know about it, so I'll be surprised if they don't actually deny it. See if they want to keep it. Give that extra economy. Hikori with the 3-1. Seen it happen very often for them, that they're able to get the 3 bounties to kick the game on a start.
I really want to see how Shanks is going to be playing the Earth Spirit. I haven't played this hero ever since the patch. There were changes to how the kick works. Now you don't have to turn. You don't have to turn or you know, go get behind the hero to kick him back. You can just click it. But there were some bugs with you kicking the hero over the Stone Remnant, or the Stone Remnant needed to be close. I'm hoping that it got fixed, because for someone that has played Earth Spirit for, like, you know, you played for 6 years, 7 years one way, and then suddenly it changes. It can make you make a lot of mistakes. So I just want to see how it works, but I think it was patched out.
Yeah. These are the constant changes of a game still in beta, right?
Yep, but still the best game in the world.
Still the best game in the world, that is for sure. That's why we love Dota. Because it's never the same. It continues to change. With every patch, a different meta starts to build. And now with the looming TI under everybody's eyes and in everybody's thoughts right now, do remember to watch the Last Chance qualifier. Kicks off tomorrow. Very early on in the morning, depending where you're from. At least European viewers. It's going to be a time to start shifting your sleep schedules. For America, that's 12 hours difference to the start time, so that's also going to mean NA and SA fans are going to be waking up very early to watch some early game Dota.
Yolakor is doing a really good job here, going for Tino. He's not laning against the Bat, the Primal Beast, until you get level 2 in Trample. I think this Undying is gonna be fine. So, Theolicor, you're just trying to use this timing to just be as annoying as possible to Tino and Shanks.
He does get the pull, but he pulls it into a pretty awkward position right now because this wave is still pushing in favor of Execration towards their tower, so they're happy with this current situation. And Vitaly calls for a pause. There's a little bit of a battle going on right now. PL is currently charging in onto the Pango.
Swashbuckle is ready.
Yeah, just gonna take a nasty poke here in the next right click.
Once again,
so far so good for Hikori though. They are winning all the lanes in terms of CS. This is something that needs to continue. They definitely have the heroes to do so. Just have to be... I kind of feel like Execration are just trying to be patient. They don't want to make any mistakes, and understandably so. That is what would lose them the game.
Yeah. Patience is virtue, like the good old saying goes. Bang. Getting targeted by Vitaly and Gardic. Couple hits flying in. Bit of skirmishing here and there. Just basic spell trading. Abaddon is very low on resources though, so I wouldn't be too surprised if Gardic just decides to run to the tier 2 tower. But he is pumping himself up with more mangoes. Wants to have more lane presence versus Vitaly. And a dire scan will be used as Shanks has been located inside the jungle. He's put down an ops ward at the outpost, so he wants to keep an eye open on Medusa stacks. Yolakor gonna get rolled on, gets the kick, there's the trample from Tino. And Tino takes a lot of damage from the incoming Mystic Snake, and Lumiere almost finds a kill. Yolakor does drop very low on HP, 5 seconds for roll. Shanks, does he find himself an angle to jump on the Undying? Doesn't feel like he will necessarily go for a blind roll in, and that salve will be used up.
Radiant have fortified their towers.
Dragging himself away, but even on the bot lane, mid lane, sorry, Bob is diving Analog and burning this Puck, but Puck does get the illusory orb with his last mana. Has 17 stick charges though, but has to be careful. Bob still going for the attempt here. Doesn't take tower aggro. I sometimes do not understand how this tower aggro works because he's right-clicking the hero, but he's not getting aggro. And sometimes you can dive and right-click somebody and still not get a single hit.
After you remove the aggro first time, there is no aggroing for a couple of seconds. I can't remember exactly how long is it. Let's make it 2 seconds, but when you remove aggro for the next 2 seconds, the tower will not attack you, even if you're attacking the hero. So
that's how it should work in theory, right? Sometimes it's like, wait, what? This guy's not taking a single hit at any moment, you know, timing it perfectly between tower hits to swap the aggro off, and it just feels like, is this broken or something? But yeah, it is a skill to master for sure. Bob is knowing exactly when to poke and when to not poke.
Very good that he did come back into that lane, considering that their side lanes aren't doing well. And you don't even have to look at the last hits. As soon as you see that the 2 supports are just focusing so much on getting those bounties, you know that the lane isn't going well. So they're just trying to get some scraps of gold around the map. And all 3 of the cores of Hikori are topping the CS chart.
Gardic was trying to TP mid, but he's a bit too late for it because Bob was able to get the first blood onto Analog. They're turning their attentions toward the Shaman, but he's also very healthy on HP right now, and Albang does not have any threat in the world. So Bob succeeds in the second dive under the tower to get the kill on the Puck.
Is Analog afraid of Bob or something? Or is he trying to show that he's not afraid? As this is the second game in a row that you're dying. It just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Bottom lane.
There's a bit of threat definitely under it. Palos will be snapped in half by Gardic with Vitaly following it up as well with the, looks like the shield pop will take the kill. Meanwhile, Shanks does find a kill onto Theolicor in the top lane. Tino pretty low on HP, so Lumiere was able to get a bit of trading hits back on both of these heroes. They're very, very low. both Shanks and Tino. Tino has to charge away, allowing Lumiere to take control of the lane. So even if they get the kill on the Undying, Primal Beast has barely anything in his arms right now. But look at this, they're on to Taaloga again, and he doesn't even get the chance to phase shift or orb away. And that's kill number 2 for Bob. So they're recovering this mid lane, and it's actually better than recovered at this point.
This is the thing I was talking about. You always have the X factor on the side of Execration. You're starting to lose the lanes, but you can create plays anywhere on the map. And here, Execration, they find it in the mid lane again. And also the call gets used, so that means Execration in the next few minutes they can even dive somewhere else if they feel the need to do so, because there's not going to be a coil ready on the puck.
Yep, and Puck has to warp himself towards the mid lane using orbs. He's not going to wait for the teleport to come back off cooldown, just in case if he happens to die again, for example, then he would actually have the TP available to go back into the lane. But everybody is showing on the map. Abeng is playing very aggressive here with this Shaman. This Shaman does have a lot of durability. I'm kind of surprised about that as well, and maybe get a kill on Vitaly. Shackles are here, but the shield comes out, and Abeng, he is going to be hunted inside the trees, but Vitaly takes a lot of damage from Palos. Turnaround with a shield crash from Vitaly. Still continues to pummel away, and there we go with the kill. Gardic very low on HP, and Palos will secure it. 1 for 1.
He wants more.
Able to get this one? I don't think he can kill Vitaly anymore. I'm just looking at this mid situation where Bob was about to go into the tower, but Lumiere is being hunted. The bigger target's been found, but go Piggy go. Squealing to safety.
We'll be fine. That ward the Shanks played.
Oh, Vitaly's dead.
Oh, he's gone.
So dead. He wasn't suspecting that to happen.
Last game it was Hokori that were patient in the laning phase. Now Execration, they just waited for their chances, and you know, fairly soon the Earth Spirit could be rotating to the bot lane and getting even more kills. But he's dead now.
If he dies first. Well, once he respawns, he's able to move around again. And along with the recovering kill. Oh, Bob's actually rotating. Yeah, he's got the Invis rune. Firefly and Lasso available. Right on top of Lumiere. Here goes the Firefly. The dive comes in. He's got the ulti though. But is the Glare going to do anything? It doesn't seem like it. There is nothing this Medusa can do to survive. Low on mana. Mana shield doesn't really help at that point. Just melts.
They both don't look at her. The Batrider obviously can pull her with the lasso, but it looked like Tino was trampling her with the back legs rather than the front ones here on the Primal Beast. So in the end, the ulti doesn't really do anything.
That is a nice set of kills going in the way of Execration. Getting themselves up to 6 now on Theoloker. He has to pop the Tombstone. He's got no heal. He's got raindrops, but raindrops ain't really going to keep him alive either. He goes down, but so does Palos. Taaloga and Vitaly using both of their ultis to secure the Phantom Lancer kill. So they're getting Primal Beast back into the game, but they're also losing their carry on the other side of the map. I don't know if this is good or not, because for me it looks like it's much better for Hokori. Even if they're losing their heroes in the top lane and at the mid lane at a very, very fast pace to Execration, Hokori just seems to find the better trades.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the thing is that the PL is going for a Diffusal Blade. So Palos, with that item, you'd much rather fight if you can. It's not a farming item. You don't farm at all with it. So if you're not ahead, and he definitely isn't in this game, that item is going to be more of a liability. Did he change his build? No, he's still going to be going for the Diffusal. Going to be a tough one for Palos. He will need a lot of time, and it might give enough for Lumiere to be strong.
And the worst part about building Diffusal is you need a +1 item on top of it to actually work. Which is usually either Yasha or straight up Manta style to actually have an impact. You're too soft, you're too weak on this hero, you have less than 1,000 HP. So with just a Diffusal Blade, you can do good early damage, but the moment they spot you, like especially a hero like Puck, or even in this case, the Pango with Rolling Thunder gets somewhere near, you're dead. Like, you get nothing out of your Diffusal Blade.
True, so the ideal scenario would be if he comes towards the tail end of the fight and kind of cleans up.
They might still get him. He's right on next to the stairs. And he's gonna get a connection here. Vitaly with the second one. They pop the tombstone. Oh, he doesn't get it. But he's got swashbuckle and shield crash. Nice roll from Shanks to buy time for Tino to escape. And Vitaly misses both of his abilities on Tino. And now comes Abeng. Here they got a perfect chance to turn this around. The wards are placed down. They've got Gardic popping his ulti, trying to keep the Pango alive with some extra heals. Shields on cooldown. No mana left, and he's down. Shanks will fall as well. But Tino lives, and Bob is here to secure at least one more for Tino. So the Primal Beast lives and gets 2 kills with it. They might lose some HP on the mid tower, but a beautiful turnaround and good dodging from Execration.
People still aren't used to just how tanky this hero is. Analog? Did he die for this tower?
No. I think he's gonna kill the Batrider.
Sticks
If
on the
anything. Oh. Nice dodge of the flame. Ooh, that is so playing on the edge. He's not fearing Bob. I think he's trying to make some kind of, you know, he's trying to taunt him a bit. That's how I see it.
Bob is playing so well, though, that I'm not sure that he's the right player to taunt. I think Bob feels like he's on top of the world right now in this tournament, the way that he has been playing.
Yeah, definitely. Bob going all the way back to base. Let's take a look at the carry situation. So, on Lumiere, we have a Manta style in the works from Power Treads. No Dragonlance built in between, so straight up Manta. He's already got the Yasha, so the farming speed is already improved. 94 last hits. Then we have the 60 last hits Palos, who does have a Diffusal Blade going for the Manta style. So he will want to continue farming for that. Difference between these two carries is 1,000 gold.
It's a big difference for the current part of the game, and a beautiful scan. Beautiful scan. They know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, the scan is better than the smoke itself. So maybe Gardic is the one to pop them. He can at least run away if they initiate. They've got the vision. They see Shanks here. Analog might get baited into seeing a lonely hero. There's another one, but the Olicor's going to be here as well. They are stacking Surround, and the Earth Spirit Silence is about to run out. Abeng, Bob, everyone coming in. Analog going to get the kill. Going to get out of there, though. He can. So Gardic and the Olicor might be the ones to jump, but here comes Lumiere. Look at the Medusa charging into battle. And Lumiere for a kill on Abeng, chasing Tino. Vitaly cannot quite catch him. He's not got the movement speed required for it. And this entire zombie army is chasing 2 targets, but they're literally just chasing. They're not getting to their final destination.
It looked really scary for Kokori there for a moment, but the Tombstone did save them the fight. That turnaround for Execration was so big, but in the end, not enough. If the Tombstone wasn't there in such a good position and he died, the chase might have been the other way around. Execration getting a few more kills and Kokori being the ones on the run.
Really good in-the-moment decision plays here from both sides of these teams. So this is what you expect from this lower bracket finals as well, to really show the best that they can in a high-stakes moment. Like, it is a 40k tournament, but you're still playing for a victorious tournament, and people are gonna notice. If you're having success in tournaments like these, they look at these players. Hokori's already playing in TI. Execration still looking for an entry there. Abeng, the stand-in player, he's gonna get burnt down by the Witchblade ticks, and there's a DD in Puck's bottle.
I'd say this kind of a pace definitely favors Hokori, because there's not a lot of things happening around the map constantly. So Execration, they cannot constantly fight. They're not getting kills, and they're even bleeding a few of them a few times.
Well, they're running into Lumiere here. He's going to get a decent amount of damage out. Gardic with the save. The bubbles there for the Undying, canceling the ulti, and another gaze to force them away, but they cannot get any kills.
The puck is coming.
But as mentioned, if this early game goes into the favor of Hokori, they have a game to play.
Yep. And it's gonna be tough for Execration to play if Hokori are ahead, because the Medusa just stands in front, and it's gonna be very hard to catch her. But the thing is, Execration, they always have a play in this game. There is always a chance for them to reposition the enemy, kick them back, pull them back, kill them from 100 to 0, catch the puck on the split push, and thus get themselves into an advantage. So I don't think Execration are scared whatsoever, but the game isn't going perfectly for them by any means.
That's true. DD has popped on Analog, and he's pumping himself with as much mana as possible. Abeng, I think they've scouted. Actually, they did not see him go into the fog, but they saw him reappear, and they're going to jump him. Hux comes out. There's a charge from Tino, and there's the trample damage. Pango taking a lot. His swashbuckle got cancelled by the instant ulti from Tino, but the coil's going to be there as well, but the damage coming in right away. And they also got Palos in the middle of all of this, and they will take down Shanks. That's going to be the first one. Tino about to fall. They got the lasso coming in as well, and Batrider can't do anything because it's purged away by Gardic, and Hikori have full control, and they're going to lose Bob in this fight as well. But there's damage coming in, and they will try to respond onto Hikori. Palos on the run, Vitaly to take him down, and here we see why the PL is so soft in these fights. With just the defusal, you do hit hard, but the opponents just simply hit harder, and that is a costly fight for Execration. 4 for 1.
Gardic just absolutely decimated them in that fight. Absolutely decimated. He removed everything. He stopped the ulti from the Primal Beast. He stopped the lasso immediately.
Yep.
And Execration just getting ahead of themselves. Now it's a 3k gold difference. And Lumiere is farming,
Just
which
like
means Scotty, Butterfly, they're going to be coming out at a perfect timing if Execration doesn't change something. And I think they have to change the approach to the game. You cannot go for straight up fights. You need to spread the map around and then catch people. Because in like with two heroes, Hikori, they can't get kills. But if it's a big team fight with a tombstone with constant spell spamming, they will clean up at some point.
Yeah, and Palos is falling behind because of that last kill again. Now it's a 2,000 gold difference. It used to be 1k, now it's 2k. And it's going to continue increasing if they cannot slow down the Medusa in any way. And most importantly, keep the PL alive. There's a lot of illusions onto this tower. It looks like they're just going to give this tier 1 for free by the looks of it. Bob will find a kill with Shanks onto Vitaly. He will get his BKB on time here with this kill for the bat.
That's big. Execration need to get those pickoffs rolling. This is what their lineup is good at. Ebang wants to go for the Ether Lens. I would argue Blink Dagger first would have been a bit of a better choice. If Execration want to continue playing like they did, like fighting in those kind of skirmishes, then yeah, Ether Lens is better. But I just don't think that that's the best way for them to approach playing this lineup.
I want to see more big plays from Bob. Like I love watching this guy play. I mean, I was hyping up Execration the day before. Now, I think I've been hyping Execration a lot this tournament, and this one comes in pretty freely. Vitaly, they just killed him before. They're gonna kill him again. That one doesn't require any flashy plays. He just charges in on a teleporting Pango and takes him.
It's a good time for a smoke now from Execration because Abaddon TP to the top lane. He's not in a good position to assist his team. If you smoke and go mid, it's going to be great.
Palos, he's not going to get away with this one. It's just not good for Execration. Oh, boy. Oh, that's so bad. That is really bad. Like, you cannot get caught in the river as a PL against a puck lineup. Like, this is just not the place to be. That hurts. That really hurts.
He's gonna have to go, I think, for the shard build here for the PL. It's not looking good currently for Palos, and because it's not looking good for him, it's not looking good for the entirety of Execration, because Lumiere is getting closer and closer to the Scardy. That's the first timing. PL cannot fight him, but when the Butterfly comes, you just walk into the Roche Pit, and with the Aegis, you end the game. So Execration, they need more of these moves when they're just destroying the side lanes, but all of it kind of falls flat if Palos continues to die.
Abeng is going to be scouting out in mid for a time being, but the Shadow Shaman doesn't really get to do much currently. Maybe with the help of Tino and Shanks, they can pull off some good moves, you know? I mean, they have been grabbing Vitaly at the top lane. Again, Bob was hunting. I was like, I've got my lasso soon up on cooldown. You want to wait just a half a minute longer and show up again?
Good thing for Hikori is that even when they lost to Vitaly twice, there is no follow-up. Execration didn't get anything more, and they needed to. Palos, is he dead again? He has a Manta now.
Yep, and he shows himself in mid, and Tino going to be walking in. The Rolling Thunder comes out, but the blink from Vitaly, the sun's going to be there, and Palos again. This PL just constantly getting bullied this game. That's a 5th death for the Phantom Lancer. And he's just not going anywhere in net worth. Now it's 3,000 difference to Lumiere. Oh boy. I mean, this is really playing into the pockets of a Medusa, man.
It's playing amazingly towards the pockets of the Medusa. Lumiere, he couldn't be happier. He's looking at this game right now, and he's thinking this PL is not gonna be a problem for me until like minute 50, and I'm not gonna allow the game to get to that point.
Surprisingly, in the drafting stage, where it kind of looked like Execration might have a bit of better control in general, this game is now pretty Hokori favored, but this is a good fight that they can take as long as Bob survives with the BKB. Tino controlling the puck, the lasso is there. Gardic's not going to be close enough for the save. He does not get the shield in time, or does he? Puck able to run away, and Shanks with the roll-in. Is it enough? Yes, it is. They finally close him out, and that's a big kill to take. Palos almost dies as Lumiere is focusing him down. But that's a massive kill for Execration. A very, very needed kill. But now they mustn't lose any other member of their team. Primal Beast able to charge away, and the supports also able to walk out from the fight.
That could have been disastrous for Execration. There was a regen rune on the puck. He got out, but a beautiful roll from Shanks. That roll saved them the game. You lose the fight there. The puck continues chasing, and he'll destroy everyone. Palos? Okay, Vitaly got ahead of himself. He can't get the kill.
Yeah, and he's trying to get out as well. Bob has no TP cancel available. They're making Palos, you know, fear for his life again.
Mid lane?
Here, though, Tino is playing very aggressive with his positioning here. You know, getting a bit of poke out. Lumiere can't kill him.
It is still looking scary for Execration, but they're showing that they have ways to play this game. No matter what the situation is, you can do it. Hokori, though, they're gonna start itemizing properly and using this advantage to get ahead. The Lotus Orb coming out from the Pango, it's gonna come out right now. The Lincoln Seer on the puck will make it that much harder for Execration to get the right jumps. And of course, Abaddon there will then have a much easier time. Again, Gardic is going for a Lotus. I still think some kind of a mobility item might be better, but in this game in particular, if the Medusa is just in front and no one else is showing, the Lotus Orb will be good enough.
14-14 with a 4K lead for Hokori, as we're going to sit on a tiny pause. Got a tiny bit of a breather here. There's been a lot of action. Execration has had to either answer or cause against Hokori. But Hokori are in the driver's seat for sure. This has been a very convincing start for them. Laning stage was still pretty 50-50, but Palos' couple deaths has really pushed their carry back. He has finished his Manta, but the thing is, Medusa's already had Manta, and he's already built up a Scotty in between. This is a 5,000 difference now. There's a full item difference between the carries. They got a lasso in the river. The shackles, sorry, not the lasso. They still don't have it. Yeah, it's still on cooldown for a couple seconds. Aben getting killed in the river at that time. And the rest of Execration on the retreat. Hokori taking over the triangle and thinking Roshan.
When you see a Medusa lineup just going 22 minutes into the enemy triangle, just walking there without any issue, especially if they're the Dire side and just completely controlling it with Roche, you know that the other team is in trouble, because that part of the map should be at least the one that Execration can protect. The thing is, their lineup is good at pickoffs, their lineup is good at mobility, and they're just unable to push out the waves enough so that they can make those happen. Just a couple of kills on Vitaly, that's it. That's the only thing they accomplished.
There's a Wraith Pact coming up on the Earth Spirit that will slow down the Medusa a little bit. But it's still not going to make a massive difference, because this Medusa is still going to do a lot of damage, nevertheless. And the multi-shot. Scotty is a nuisance to deal with, and going for the butterfly, like you said. There'll be a lot of trouble ahead. Straight to the tier 2 tower they go. There is a creep wave cutter. Tino, Analog has found him. There's a BKB available on the Primal Beast, and Analog uses the coil already. And Tino fights back, but how much damage does he have? He trades a couple hits with him. They're finishing off the bottom tier 1 tower, maybe getting a kill onto the other one. Analog, Tino, did he extend too far? Yes, he did. That's the kill for Analog. He did not
That
even
feels
have
so
a
bad.
TP anymore. Like, I think he had a cooldown on it or something, but he just stayed to fight, and then when he wants to TP away with the uproar, it's not looking good enough at that point.
He could have ran out at any point there with the onslaught, but he decided to maybe try to kill the puck. Then also the Lincolns was there, so no chance to use the pulverize at that point.
Yeah.
It was a little bit too late when he realized there is nothing that he could do.
Abeng is right behind enemy lines here. Theoloka is very near him, and Analog on the other side. Hex comes out, though they have the damage. Oh, he just hexes the TP away. He will. Knowing there's no coil. Execration are making very, very aggressive plays.
They have to. They have to do it. You have to force Hikori to use their TPs, because if they're just running from one lane to another in an aggressive manner, you cannot fight them currently, and you cannot kill them if they're together. But if you force out some TPs, then you can use a good smoke and actually use your lineup. If that doesn't happen, then you have one move, and that is play the high ground, pull people back with the lasso or the kickback, and that's where you get a fight going. But it is not a smart approach to the game, especially because Hikori, they're gonna be moving towards the high ground right now.
See what they can do here. Is this gonna be the force back for Execration to defend the base? They're already starting off with the tier 3 tower. They have a catapult with them. Make things even harder. Lotus Orb to protect him, and Abaddon at the back as well for the shield. They are making a bit of a crescent-shaped defense on the back line. Tier 3 is about to fall. Vitaly is also waiting for the call. When do I go in? When do you need me to go? Green track's already fallen. And then the big question is, do they stay for the melee? Looks like they're in no hurry. They're swapping Lincolns and Lotuses on top of the Medusa. And here goes Shanks. There's the initiation. Kickback. It will kick Shanks back as well. Tino with the charge. They get the gaze off. But it's not gonna stun anybody else except for the Shaman and the Primal Beast. So even if they don't get the Bat Rider in it, they're fine with it. They don't worry. Palos is trying to fight for his life. They will take down Theoloker. They're looking for Gardic. Gardic's ulti will pop. Medusa getting hexed up inside the wards. Abeng die back. And that is gonna be Vitaly falling as well. Maybe they can get this kill onto the Pango. Very low in HP. Analog's gonna be here as well with a coil. And Palos will secure it with Bob for another kill. But the PL to drop next. Triple for Lumiere, and the melee racks to fall. And this is just one of those games where you look at PL pretty strong against the Medusa. But in this game, Medusa is just so far ahead. There's a 7k difference between these two. A lane of racks taken, and Hikori, they are not gonna let this drop. They won't drop the ball, but they can.
The matchup just sometimes works both ways. If the Medusa is allowed to get this far ahead, the PL is not an issue for her whatsoever.
All about the timing.
I think Execration, they're starting to lose hope right now. I'm starting to lose hope for them as well, because they did everything that their lineup can do. They kicked back the Medusa. They got her close to the tier 4s. Okay, understandably so. It wasn't the mid lane that was being pushed, so you can't get her super deep.
Yeah.
But everything done, and you get one kill, whereas you don't even take the Aegis from the Medusa. I don't think she even got to 0 mana at that fight, so Lumiere just way too powerful right now. Now with the Daedalus, he kills everyone who comes close to him.
Yeah, and the difficult part of that fight was because the gaze was able to go off despite the kick. Bob is getting pummeled with his BKB on, and Shanks will buy some time. Abeng with the Hex doesn't do anything. Lumiere just right-clicks him down, and onto the next building they go. But yeah, basically, I mean, it could have been a little bit different of a fight if they didn't actually get the Stone Gaze off. I mean, a 3-second stun with bonus physical damage flying in with decent amount of right-click on the side of Hikori. But they had no silence for him. They had no silence for him at that point, so he did get it off. And now, second lane of racks, and because there's no tier 2 in the top lane, this could also mean a potential Mega Creeps push is on its way.
Palos has a Scotty, but he cannot attack the Medusa. Just the butterfly is too big of an issue right now, and Palos doesn't even have a shard to constantly spam out the illusions. We're seeing that he wants it, but he can't even kill the Medusa illusion at this point.
Yeah, the Medusa illusions are beating the PL illusions. And there's the lasso. Lotus Orb to follow it up. The coil is beautifully set up as well. They're all stacked up. They're all clumped up. Execration. They have a mass grave that they're digging for themselves as Hikori. Take 3. And secure the mid lane for themselves. And this is going to be Tino down as well for the 4th kill. The voice line spam, it kicks in. Hokori feeling themselves right now. They know that they're tying up the series and heading over to the map 3 in this lower bracket finals. And now towards the top lane. Execration, they have no more tools left.
This feels so good for Hokori. You have one path to victory. You know which one it is. Execration knows which one it is, and they don't manage to do anything about it. Of course, you know, you can always argue Execration could have done a lot of things better in this game, but the thing is, you're not allowed to make too many mistakes. You always have options, but if you make mistakes like the fight around the Roche pit, it's gonna be very, very hard. And Palos dying so many times, he's just not a issue for Hokori. As I mentioned, this PL is not gonna be a problem for the Medusa until like minute 50, and does anyone think that minute 50 is coming in this game? I highly doubt it.
That's quite far away. That is quite far away if you're looking at the clock. As we're only at the half an hour marker with a 20,000 gold lead, and this game has been 100% already for a couple minutes for Hokori. I usually ask chat if there are 1%ers, but I guess nobody wants to be a part of the 0% club. I'm not even gonna ask that question. But anything can happen in Dota, but right now it's just it is pretty much an impossible situation for Execration.
I don't see them winning this game currently. They've tried everything, right? After those few fights, they've tried what they could. They tried to split up Hokori. Hokori didn't bite. They tried to kick back the Medusa, pull her back into tier 4s. It didn't work. Right now, you have to dodge Lumiere. You can't kill him. And there's just so many Lincolns.
And Vitaly's going to get the one hexed up right away. Abeng hexes himself as well. They've got the tombstone placed down to the ground as well. Palos in the front line. The PL getting targeted, and PL just getting nuked down. The stuns are there. They got everything they need. Palos dead. Shanks to follow. You've got no more damage, and that's GG. Hokori to tie the series up, and we're going to the final map of the series to decide who goes to the grand finals.
Hokori really loved these lineups when you want to stand and play around one hero. In the last game, it was the Veto, and they could never get him ahead. They could never get to play around him. He's always on his side of the map. Medusa is a bit different because she tends to do that a little bit later into the game, but when the timing hits, it's a problem. But she hit the timing so strong that Execration, they were completely helpless, like completely helpless. When Lumiere came with the butterfly, when he came with the timing that we said it's gonna be the only way that Hokori win the game, Execration just couldn't do anything, and that is what Hokori were gunning for. They executed perfectly. Execration made a few slight mistakes, and they were punished for it. So nicely done from Hokori. I'm actually surprised it looks so easy.
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of play out the win condition for them, that if they win the early game and the laning stage in a decent way and get the follow-up out of there, this will be a game for Hokori, but I wasn't expecting it to be this one-sided. That Execration just falls flat too early into the game. Like, you know, you've got a PL that can do a lot of work against Medusa. Very good in the late game, very good in the mid game, if they're tied in net worth. But were they ever tied in net worth? No. That is
in first 5 minutes. They were.
Yeah, that was maybe at the very start of the game, but they lost control of it way too early into this one. So that, I mean, hate to say it, but Execration was not on their level in the second game. However, there is going to be definitely a third game still up in this series, and that's going to be the decider between these two teams who gets to go to the grand finals. So until we find out what happens in the draft and the game, we're going to take a commercial break and get yourself some refreshments as we return in a couple of minutes.